Hi everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk PMA. We're here to teach you how to be in control of your thoughts,
to be confident in yourself,
to embrace all challenges as opportunities, not threats,
to be committed to yourself, your team, and your sport.
Thank you guys so much for coming back. I know it's been a little bit of a break. We've not really been around for a couple weeks, but we're back and we're ready to reintroduce ourselves. We're here together, and this is how it's going to be from now on. So we're very excited to have you back. And because of all of our supporters, we want to thank you. We have been able to create a coaches workshop. You can find it on our website. We're super excited about all of it. Go sign up, go check it out. It's where we can go through and work through those thoughts that you're going to have, what you might be experiencing with your own athletes, and really dive deeper into that positive mental attitude and that mental toughness.
We've talked a lot about things that are coming up for us, new things, and I think this podcast today is talking more about reset and what that looks like, and where we started with Let's Talk PMA to begin with a year ago, almost exactly,
I think,
and where we're going now. And we've grown for sure, and now we're into the year of teaching. And I think last year we're just really getting into what it looks like, what we're going to be doing, like what
we want,
what we wanted. We didn't really know. Like, the podcast was it. The podcast was kind of just getting to know ourselves, getting to know what the program looks like, our workbook, what that looks like. And now this year it's kind of exciting because I'm excited to teach. I'm excited to really work off the workbook. I'm really excited to go into schools and do some speaking and really reach the kids and hopefully the parents and the coaches too, in a way that really inspires people to change their mindset into that positive that we've been talking about for so long. And so now is that reset of, maybe not just a reset, just let's expand forward and get to do it together, which is super exciting. So, Allie, you recently moved.
Yeah.
I'm
no longer in Arizona. I am here in Washington, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I'm here.
And it's not just a visit. So this was a hard thing. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about it today. I know some of our followers knew you were in Arizona. A lot of the kids that you coached. It was a quick thing.
Yeah, super quick. Probably one of the quickest transitions I've ever had. I had some unforeseen circumstances, and they pushed me in a different path. And so I'm kind of going through the motions of trying to figure out what's next. I'm here in Washington. I'm in a completely different area. I had to quit all of my coaching jobs, which was probably one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do, because I was really pushing down my career path, but honestly, life is going to put you in the right directions, like where you need to be, and that's just how it is. And there was a lot of things that were happening between me and my boyfriend, like that, not between us, but in our lives, that were happening, that just kind of told us that this isn't the right path, and it's time to go a different direction. So we're here, we're learning, we're going through it. I'm kind of going through it right now. So we haven't had a couple podcasts because I've kind of been going through it, and I feel like it's hard to teach. It's hard to preach when I feel like I'm not practicing it myself. But also at the same time, I am practicing it in a way, and I am learning how to embrace what has happened and how to go through this grief and this uprooting of my whole life, and how I can, make it a positive, and how can I do things to help me push forward instead of, enclosing myself in a space and, you know, not getting out there, not, you know, trying to find jobs, not trying to push forward. If I just stay here, you know, like we were just talking about, if I stay in this house or I stay in my room or I just like don't go and experience things, it's not going to help me at all. So luckily, since the moment we got back, we have kind of been everywhere, went on a little camping trip and everything. So that helps. But, you know, I'm taking my time and I'm learning and I'm here and I want to share this experience with you guys as I'm learning to push through it as well.
Well, and you said too that, you know, you're going through it and you're not practicing it. But if you weren't, like you said, if you weren't moving forward and you weren't seeing the opportunities to what do I do next, you know, and you were just closing yourself off, then you would be consumed with it. You know, you're committed to seeing what's out there, what's next, not just dwelling on it being tough. You know, change is hard. Change is something that we all have to go through to get to that next better place. And, you know, like I remember our conversation when we first talked about, you know, it wasn't going to work out for you to move to your next apartment. And you said, Mom, I just feel like a failure. And I remember this conversation so deeply because I was just like blown away. And we had a conversation of, Allie, listen, what have you learned since you've been there? Like, you found your career path. You got to meet this amazing community of, you know, coaches and basketball players. And you had this, you know, amazing job opportunity that you got to see what it would be like if you got to really be in this situation of coaching high school basketball. And that's not a fail. And that's a huge win in my book, because now no matter where you go, you have that experience. Yeah. You can come here and you're now already like, hey, I want to start a new club. I want to coach. I want to do this, where you couldn't have done that before.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of it is when you have like a big change like that, it's so easy, or something that's out of your control, you know, like this move and this uprooting of my life hasn't really been what I wanted, and I wasn't ready for it. And so I feel like it's so easy to get into that mindset of like, I failed because it wasn't your timing and your timeline. You know, like I'm a planner, so like I had at least the next year planned out, and at least in what I was hoping to do within that next year. And so it was really easy for me to feel like, oh, I failed, you know, I didn't do as much as I should have to be able to take this next step. But it's all just perception. You know, it's how you choose to perceive it. Yeah, I still a little bit feel like a failure, but at the same time, I do know how much I did learn and how extremely blessed I was with the opportunities that I was given. And the athletes I was able to meet and coach, the coaches I was able to meet and coach was unforgettable, and I know that I will always have them, and it's so cool to be able to still watch them, you know, like I have them all over social media and I'm supporting them from afar, and I can always go and see them, and they know that I always got their backs and everything. But it's hard, and I miss them a lot because it was very, like, I created my whole this whole basketball community in Arizona. I was so extremely blessed to be a part of. I created a family, and I had a huge family, and so I was very happy. So I know that I always have them. So it's good to know that I have that, and it's exciting to watch them. But now I just have to find that family here and that community here where I can, you know, still make a difference, and I can do it in a different way, because especially where we're located, there's not a lot of basketball. I mean, there's a lot of basketball, but not like where I was, and there's not that many clubs and everything, and they're definitely not elite clubs. And so, you know, here's my opportunity to do what I know, what I've learned, and share it with this new part of the world.
And that's, and the cool thing about that is that you may not have a right now a different kind of family like you had there, but you have your family,
Yeah.
which is very strong and will support you 100% no matter what you do. So, it's just part of learning and growing. And, it sucks that our economy has pushed you to have to do this. I'm frustrated with that, and I'm going to say it, and I don't usually do that, but it's out of control.
Yeah.
And we're living in a time that is forcing people to not know where to go because they can't afford it. And thank God that you had the ability to come home.
Yeah, not
because
everybody has what I was able to just come home to.
I mean, you at one point were like, I don't know what to do. We don't have a place to live now because they told us one thing and then it was triple what we were told.
Yeah, literally. And even, I'm not paying for this place by myself. My boyfriend has a full-time job. He's not making great money, but he has a full-time job and everything, that he's working a lot, and I'm working 5 jobs. 5 jobs. And none of them may pay a lot, but that's insane for anybody to have to work that many jobs.
Well,
and still not be able to pay for anything.
Right. And then like you told us that, we could make the ends meet, but we would be house broke. We would only be living to pay rent. And there's no means, you just can't live like that for very long. So,
well, we did it before. I've done it before, living the paycheck to paychecks and the I can't afford to buy dinner. I can't afford to buy groceries. I am not eating and living off whatever's in my house, and it's not a way to live, and it takes a toll on yourself physically and mentally. But especially if you're in a relationship, that was a really hard point. And we were both working full-time, big paying bucks jobs, and we were still struggling. Yeah. And it's that's just not the way to live. And I would never, since I've gone through it, I would never ever do that again. And I'm never going to put myself or my small family of 3 in that situation again. It's not worth it. I would rather be happy. I would do anything to not have to do that again.
Yeah. Well, and I'm excited to see, us being together and just seeing what we can really build together now here with Let's Talk PMA and our mental toughness program. And it's going to be so much easier now that we're together, and just seeing what happens. And I'm excited that you're open to that, and still wanting to coach, still wanting to be involved in the community, and just seeing where this takes us.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, and for anybody who, has a significant change in their life, or anybody who is going through some sort of grief or anything, I'm learning with you. I'm learning how I'm dealing with it, and I was expecting, as soon as we got settled down, to have this huge meltdown, because that's usually what happens, at least for me, and it hasn't been like that. And I've had a couple here and there, but nothing major, I guess. And so and I don't necessarily feel like I want to talk about it, and I don't know exactly how I'm feeling, that kind of stage of grief where you're kind of numb. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. And so I want everyone to understand that it is okay to accept help, and it is okay to have someone to talk to and everything, but don't accept the help if you're not ready. Because if you're not ready, I honestly think that you're wasting not only your own time, but the person who's trying to help you, because you're not open to it. You know, like someone might be trying to help you, and it's okay to say, you know, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to talk about it. I'm not ready to push through it. I still need to figure it out for myself, and then we can go through this later. Because I mean, I feel worse if like you were trying to, you know, coach me up or talk through it or whatever, and I'm just, you know, sitting there not really even listening, you know.
And it, you know, it's hard because, well, it's not hard. I guess as a life coach, it's not my job to fix it, you know, and it's not my job to make you talk to me.
Well, even as a mom.
And even as a mom, like I told you today, you know, when and if you're ready, ever, I'm always here. You know that. And just how can I support you? And just giving you that, you know, I have a shoulder. Yep, it's always here for you, and you know that. That's all I can do for you.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna give you advice because you know what's best for you at this point. And that's okay. And I think everyone needs to understand that when people are going through any kind of grief, if it's the loss of somebody or if it's, you know, a big change in their life, no matter what, they go through those steps of grief. And, you know, I went through it when I left a job after 9 years and came home to figure out what I was doing next. And I remember going through it. And it was depression, and it was sadness, and it was excitement, and it was all of the emotions. And I didn't understand why I was leaving a job. Why did it matter? But it was a major change in my life. And it's okay to process those because you have to process them in your own time.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get stuck in it. You know, get stuck in the depression, get stuck in the thought of nothing's working. You know, I'm a failure. So, you know, like you said, you're moving through them because you know that positive side of them.
Yeah. Well, and even when I knew that this whole situation was happening and I was going to be moving home, I had set the expectation for myself from the start that because I knew I was going to be going through it. You know, I think once you become a little bit more emotionally intelligent, you kind of learn exactly how you're going to react. And it might not be exact every single time, but at least you can prepare yourself. You know, like I know once this happens, I will be going through it, you know, whatever way you are going through it. But, you know, for me, I said from the start, all right, it's time for me, you know, I'm getting back in the gym. I have been working out already and playing basketball and all that stuff, but this is different. So now I'm able to I've said I'm going to work out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this grief. I'm going to take this emotion, all the emotions, and I'm going to benefit myself. You know, I'm going to do something that's going to make me better as a person. And
I get to reap the benefits too.
Yeah, because now she has a workout buddy, and now she has someone to hold her accountable. So
I do, and it's so awesome because I've needed that person, and I've needed that person to push me and just to keep me accountable. And you know, I think I'm in a different space too, as far as I'm like, I just need that little push. I just need that. Okay, you have to go for a walk today. You have to go to the gym today, or just doing it together. Number one, makes it so much more fun. And just getting to do it with you, of course, is a highlight. So I'm excited for this journey.
Stay tuned for our workout videos.
Yeah, they could be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I think they're going to be great. They're going to be really great. You guys are going to want to work out with us.
No, it's fun. And it's, I'm excited that we get to share this journey with you and Winter and Bjorn. And we're all adjusting, but because of all the positive mental stuff that we've gone through in the last year, this transition has been for us too, like we were empty nesters. And so, we had the house to
for
ourselves.
like 5 years.
Yeah. So when we had our house to ourselves and, did what we wanted and didn't have to worry about, what anyone else was doing. So now all of a sudden it's different, but I know a year ago, if this would have happened, I wouldn't have reacted the same way. I would have been a little angry. I would have been upset. I would have been in a different spot. And I'm not there. I'm fine. And, there's little things, but there's always little things when someone else comes into your life and, into your home.
Takes over.
And has a big dog.
She hates my dog.
I do not hate Bjorn. He's just big and he slobbers on me all the time.
Hates him.
Anyway, we digress. So, anyway, stay tuned. We'll have lots of new things coming up, not just clips from our podcast anymore. We're going to introduce some new things into our world and your world of us. And I hope that you guys enjoy. And
yeah, it's new. It's a reset. It's a reintroduction to us. A little bit of rebranding, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We have lots of different things that we're working towards and trying to adjust so that we can give you guys the best experience possible. So stay tuned. We got it all coming for you. Make sure that you guys like and follow. Subscribe below. Check out our workshops, our coaches workshops. We're really excited. Within this next couple weeks, we're going to have a coaches week. That's really just going to focus on them, give them special tips, and really give us and release more information on our actual coaches workshop so you guys can get signed up for that. We're very, very excited. You can check that out at Let's Talk PMA, so www.letstalkpma.com. All of our social media is also Let's Talk PMA. So go check it out. We're excited to have you guys join our new journey, and we're excited to see what happens. Lots of new things. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea, but we're trying.
Yeah, just one step at a time, and that's all we can do. Challenges are one step at a time.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody, so much for watching. We'll see you all next week.